Hey y'all, it's Caro, and I'm here today to try something a little bit different that I haven't done before. So I know I've written a lot of Twitter threads about it in the past, but I actually wanted to bring it into video form now. And I'm going to be talking about last night's AEW Dynamite episode, which I thought was a really great show all around. I know that the circumstances of what's going on in the world right now can make wrestling shows seem like they're empty and kind of void of the typical audience reactions that we usually get at shows, but despite everything going on, AEW did a really great job last night. I think it's actually one of their stronger episodes that they've had since the whole empty arena show started last month. So let's just run it down. Let's see what was great about last night, and yeah. So the first match I want to talk about is obviously the opening match, Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin, which I thought, great. Oh my god, fantastic opening. And one of the reasons I was looking forward to this match in particular was because, as we've seen in previous episodes and basically since, I want to say, over the summer with the summer shows, that Cody and Darby already have this history with each other. They have this great in-ring chemistry that is just really unique to the two of them, with Cody Rhodes' moveset and Darby Allin's very energetic, chaotic, very wild. You've seen Darby Allin before, you know what I'm talking about. And these two together in the ring were just absolutely fantastic. Great storytelling all around. The ending to that match was a little weird. It was weird for me because I thought for a second that Darby Allin won, but with the replay it showed that his shoulders were on the mat. So yeah, that was really unusual ending, but it was kind of a nice swerve at the end with Cody coming out as the winner. Plus also my bracket is still intact. Overall, really great opening match. I'm happy to see Cody advance to the finals, and yeah, it was great. So what followed after Cody and Darby weren't matches, there were actually two promos. So we saw a Scorpio Sky promo talking about his time with SCU and how that's made him a better wrestler in person, which is always really nice to see. I like AEW doing a lot of the video packages where they kind of spotlight on a wrestler and just go at it with their background and how being with the stable or being with the company has changed them or made them better. So I think that's a really great way to start investing people into characters. I recall that they did a really good job with that with Big Swole when she debuted a few months ago, so it's just really nice to see that they're continuing to do that with other people on the roster. Following Scorpio Sky, we get an MJF promo, and MJF being MJF, he complains about nicking his neck. So there's not much else to say there other than MJF is just being what he does best and kind of gets out of everything. I miss you, MJF. After we see those two promos, we get our next match on the card, which is Wardlow versus Musa. And this is a pretty short match, unsurprisingly. You knew that Wardlow was going to get over. Given his size and how they're building him up in AEW, I didn't expect the match to last too long. And if I could tangent a bit on here, I know I've seen a lot of people kind of give criticism to the company recently about how they're doing a lot of squash matches, and in particular with last week's Kenny Omega situation. I get that, and I can understand why people would be mad about that. At least it's not an absolute squash. I know that the Wardlow versus Misa one was really really short, but when I think of matches like the Kenny Omega one last week, or even the one with Pineapple Pete beforehand, at least they're building up some of the talent, but not necessarily all of them. But I can still get the criticism with AEW about that. It's a wrestling company, kind of gonna see jobber matches. I don't know what else. Following that match, we saw the Bubbly Bunch, and I love seeing the Bubbly Bunch every single week. And it was really, they're all so funny. Seeing Chris Jericho and Santana Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager being really creative with social distancing guidelines and putting together the Bubbly Bunch segment every week is really hilarious. And in particular this week, they did the Manitoba Melee, which was so hilarious. I thought it was just gonna be it was gonna be just wrestlers, but they brought in celebrities and musicians, given Jericho's connections. And I kind of popped for Vicky at the end. It's really nice to see Vicky. We miss you. Next up, we have Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian versus Best Friends, and this was another great highlight of the night. I don't think I like this match as much as Cody and Darby, but they did a great job kind of building the momentum and energy for that match. It was a really entertaining one all around. I loved Orange Cassidy kind of interfering and Penelope Ford being Penelope Ford. And it was just really fun to watch it during the halfway point of the show. I'm really happy with how much Best Friends have been getting over in the past few months. I think Orange Cassidy has helped a lot with that, but it's really nice to see them in a feud with the Jimmy Havoc, Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford stable, so that's been really funny to watch recently. And just overall, I really like Jimmy and Kip. These two have really impressed me since they made their debuts, and I think that they're doing a great job of building that this kind of sadistic but like dark image and character of themselves, especially with Jimmy Havoc given his history before the company. So yeah, it was a nice highlight of the show. I liked it a lot. That was a great match. And then next up on the plate was Shawn Spears versus Baron Black. Again, another kind of squash match, but it was a 2-minute match. Like, Shawn Spears was gonna come out strong. Brody Lee versus Marco Stunt was the next match following the Shawn Spears one, and I knew that Mr. Brody Lee was going to come out strong on that one because as the Exalted One, you gotta make him look strong. But I wanted to take a second to commend Marco Stunt because despite all the matches he's been in recently, I enjoy seeing him, show off some of that talent. He didn't make as much of a comeback as he did, at least at the Lance Archer match, but it's just really nice to see Marco Stunt at least try his best and show off a bit of his skill. It's always nice to see. Then we had a Jon Moxley promo. So Jon Moxley came out, it was kind of like this desert area. I don't know if you call it like a desert. He's from Vegas. He lives in Vegas. So I would assume Vegas like a desert somewhere. But Jon Moxley came out and he told us to call our grandmas and order takeout. Way to go, Moxley, for supporting small businesses. It's just the typical Mox giving his champion promo and just kind of continuing to build interest in his character. After the Mox promo, we see an announcement for a match next week on Dynamite that I'm super excited for, which is Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy versus Jericho and Sammy Guevara, aka the Sex Gods, in a street fight match. And that's gonna be really fun to see. I'm super looking forward to it. And if I recall correctly, I think that's Matt Hardy's first AEW match technically, so that should be really exciting to see. I'm super looking forward to that. And then finally, the main event for last night's episode was Dustin Rhodes versus Lance Archer. I really wanted my TNT championship bracket to stay intact, so I went for Lance Archer for this match based on the fact that they've been teasing a Cody Lance match since the results show of Revolution, which was way back in the beginning of March. But the other thing with Lance Archer and Dustin is, in a storyline sense, it would make the most sense for Lance Archer to go over. As we've seen since the beginning of AEW and even at Double or Nothing, we have been seeing this bond between Cody Rhodes and Dustin, and these two are brothers. They are inseparable and unbreakable, and they've been with each other and have supported each other through neck and neck and through literally everything. What I really wanted to see from this match was Lance Archer kind of decimate Dustin pretty badly, because it would make Cody really motivated and fuel his anger in wanting to basically beat up Lance Archer at Double or Nothing. So with the unbreakable brotherly bond motivating Cody and Dustin, it was just really nice to see Lance kind of beat him up. I don't mean that like in a bad way, but in a storyline sense, it's nice that they're using this as motivation for Cody, is what I'm saying. So it was a good match all around. It was really like heart-wrenching to see Dustin get like beat up the way he did. But in the perspective of Cody's character, I think this will make Cody very, like, aggressive towards winning the TNT championship, not only for himself, but for the Nightmare family and for specifically his brother. So, all in all, it'll be Cody and Lance at Double or Nothing for the TNT championship finals. I also have Cody as my winner and pick for the bracket, so fingers crossed that he wins, because it would be great. No, seriously, I've predicted, like, all the match winners for the TNT championship bracket. Like, literally, look at this. I am a psychic. I can predict stuff. And yeah, that was basically my impressions of last night's episode. This is something I don't do often, and it's something I want to do more of. So this was basically just kind of testing the waters. I'll get better at this. I'll find a format that kind of works for me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for watching. If you want more AEW news, you can ring the bell, subscribe, like this video, and yeah, drink water. Do it. Stay hydrated.